Okay, this is going to be hilarious and hopefully quick because I have not planned this video very well and I really need a shit and we don't have a toilet here. So I'm going to attempt essentially as quickly and as reasonably as I can to put this bottom bracket in this bike. The reason for this is that I've just converted it to a 1x and the chain line on it sucks. It's fucking terrible.
To be more specific, previously the bottom bracket in it was like 122mm, and now I've cut it down to 113. As they cut it down, I've not manufactured a fucking bottom bracket. I've put a new 113mm in it, and that seems to work. And I think for mountain bikes of this era, like the 90s, early 2000s, 113 or 110 110 or 113mm bottom bracket is peak ideal for this one bike conversion.
So we're going to sort that out. I'm going to pop it in the stand, and I will fire through. Hopefully before I fire through my fucking underpants. Let's do it! So the first step here is we have to take off the old crank set. And I have the tool for that right there. Perfect.
In hindsight, this wasn't actually the right tool, but you know, this is part of life with bottom brackets. Sometimes you pick up the right one, sometimes you pick up the wrong one. We'll just skip this.
That should work. Yeah. Something that's worth doing with these is you get your crank puller, you'll see the tip of it like this. It's worth taking that and lining it up with the inside of there just to make sure it actually presses in on it, because some of them have like these flange edges, and if it catches the flange edges and doesn't actually go into the bottom bracket, then what will happen is you won't actually be taking the crank off. You'll basically be stripping the threads out of the bloody crank set, and that's really quite a costly mistake to make. So you don't want to do that. So make sure you've not bloody done that. Nip this up. That will more than suffice. Then we screw this one in. I have a sneaking suspicion that might be 15. I'm in fact wrong. Good job having adjustable. So we pop that on there. And like so. She comes loose, Captain. Right, so that's step one done. Now this is where things get more interesting. And through the power of editing, we're going to stop here. And we're going to start right back here. So basically the issue was before, back at my place, I have one of these, but you pop it on, if you don't have anything to hold it in place, it just kind of slips off. What I have here is a bolt and a bunch of washers. The bottom bracket removal tool is going to go on the bottom bracket. This is then going to basically screw in to the bottom bracket in the same way that the crank retaining bolt would, like so. So I'm just going to show you how it works. So you pop your bottom bracket tool on. Now Park Tool, I'm pretty sure, do make a Park Tool version of this, but the Park Tool tool's like $30 or $40. I don't know what it is in pounds. I've never even attempted to look for one because frankly, this works fine. Now it's fucking solid. So when I go to, oh fuck. Okay, so that's hilarious. I need to put it on this bottom bracket tool because this one has flanges and the other one doesn't. But we're just going to pretend that I've basically already done that. Okay, now we have magically got the flange tool on here. So basically, you get a couple of variations of that bottom bracket removal tool. You get the one I had initially shown you, which was this one, which is designed to go with basically a driver, breaker bar. This one has a little bolt thing in it, which kind of makes it sit on there a bit better, and that's good too. But you want a really secure fitment. And what I've got on here is I've got a tool, got a bottom bracket removal tool, which is basically open on this side, which means you can take a bolt and a shit ton of washers, like that many washers, like quite a lot, and you can Jam them on there, and basically the tool will sit solid. So now what I'm going to do is take my big friend, leverage, and I'm going to take it off. Now the way that I remember which direction to turn bottom brackets is that they are the opposite of the pedal threads. So on this side is a right hand.
Sometimes we say things in videos and then we listen back over them and we go, oh my god, why did my brain just decide to not work at that time? Essentially, the way I remember what direction pedal threads go is like this. Sorry, not pedal threads, bottom bracket threads. You know which direction the pedal threads run in. You have the pedal on the right hand side of the bike, which is the drive side pedal that threads on righty tighty lefty loosey. The pedal on the left hand side of the bike threads on left handed. If you remember that, and you remember this next thing, that bottom bracket threads are the opposite of pedal threads, then you should always remember it, right? So drive side, pedal threads on right, which means because the bottom bracket is the opposite, that the cup for the bottom bracket will be left hand threaded. So as opposed to turning it clockwise to tighten it, you have to turn it clockwise to loosen it, essentially. You kind of just have to try and then you'll see. Give it a shot.
If that doesn't make any sense, don't worry. It took me ages to figure out as well. But basically, okay, that's coming off. Nice. Sound. What you will find is as you go to loosen this, obviously this is screwed in to the bottom bracket. So you will eventually get to a point where it will not be able to loosen anymore. Or am I talking pure shit? And is this the other side? Nope, no, it physically won't pull out anymore because the other side of the crank is still attached to the bottom bracket. But that is the long and the short of it. If you have a particularly stuck bottom bracket and what you find is that the bottom bracket tool is slipping off, then what you can do is just bolt the freaking tool onto the bottom bracket.
Somebody did make a comment on one of my videos a little while ago about using hot water to loosen it. And you can, basically, the way you do this is you get a kettle, you boil it, you pour it over the shell, the bottom bracket shell, and the idea is that it expands, and as it expands, it'll be easier to break the tension between the threads. You can also put some plus gas in there if it's really stiff. That can help too.
It'll work. Part tool sell a version for like $40. I may have mentioned that already. You don't need to buy that one. You can just jimmy it, but you know, it's up to you what you want to do. Either way, this works. I've done this method for years to get sticky square taper cartridge bottom brackets out, and I'm not going to say it's never failed me, but it very rarely fails me. So if this is something you're struggling with, give this an attempt. If you found this useful, please like and share. And if you want to see more shenanigans from me, then, well, you're fucking old enough to know how to use YouTube. See you in the next one.